Onions, Chapter 12, Showdown. In this chapter, you're going to hear how Onions deals with the school bully. After his last class, CW waited for 15 minutes, so most of the kids would be gone by the time he left. His classroom was on the second floor. The stairs were deserted with only the sound of his footsteps echoing on the cement floor. The first floor hall was empty, except for a stray teacher hurrying to a meeting. CW was carrying his backpack and his new prize, a big bore Benj trumpet. He didn't know yet what a big bore was, but he knew for sure it was nothing to do with being boring. When he stepped outside, it was another hot afternoon in Lozan, nearly 90 degrees. The sky was overcast with threat of a thunderstorm. Some students were still hanging around on the front steps, probably waiting for their parents to give them a lift home. Nobody was old enough to drive yet, so the kids were without wheels. It was a frustrating time for preteens and early teens, between helplessness and the ultimate freedom of having a car. A group of boys and girls were hanging out near the street. CW had to pass him on his way home. One boy had his back turned to CW, so he couldn't tell who it was. The kids were talking and gesturing wildly with enthusiasm. One of them had mentioned the sports dome. As CW got closer, it was obvious that they were talking about the upcoming vote. And then the boy facing away from him turned around. It was Rock. CW stopped. He did not want to deal with a school bully, not now. When he turned and started the other way, however, Rock saw him. "Hey, look who's here. It's Onions, and he's a musician." A couple of the other kids started tooting with their mouths and shouting raspberries. "You know, he's anti-sports dome," one of them said. "You're kidding," a snooty brunette girl said. "My dad says we'll be able to get the rodeos here." "Oh, yeah," added the tall, skinny kid beside her. "They have contests that we can enter." "I think the sports dome is cool," a girl named Melanie said, staring at CW. Melanie was too heavy and had a bad attitude because she hated herself for being overweight. She knew kids laughed at her behind her back. When she had the chance to knock someone else down, she leaped at the opportunity. "Why don't you like it?" CW paused. He remembered what Mrs. Fuller had said about memory and storing ideas away and using them to defend yourself. He recalled some of the things she'd mentioned about the corrupt politicians in charge of the sports dome, and he knew what to say. He also knew that anything he said would be laughed at, so he decided to tell the truth. "I don't like it because it's going to bankrupt the town." "Who said so?" Melanie replied. "Anybody who knows what Squiggins and his buddies are up to. Go to the library, check it out." "No, you tell us," Rock said. "You've got all the answers, so go ahead. Enlighten us ignoramuses." CW turned to Rock. "It's an albatross." Eddie, a curly-headed, nerdy kid with fat lips, looked blank. "A bird? You think the sports dome's a bird?" Melanie shook her head in contempt at Eddie's stupidity. "He means it's unnecessary, Eddie." Rock continued needling CW. "He's helping that woman, the old circus lady. They're out in front of City Hall every Saturday, making noise and messing things up." Eddie's eyes widened. "You mean that weird old woman on TV? My mom says she takes showers outside where everyone can see her. She's a nudist." CW's eyes narrowed. "She is not a nudist," he said evenly. Rock was smiling. He'd found CW's weakness. He faced the group. "Okay now, everybody together. Nudist, nudist, the old lady's a nudist." The kids laughed and started chanting, jeering at CW, making fun of him. Everything in CW wanted to fight, to level Rock and his stupid friends. But the threat of going to another foster home stopped him. He started to cross the street to get away from the tormentors, but Rock followed. "Hey, where you going, kid?" He caught up with C.W. and stuck his foot between his legs. Charles Wesley almost lost his balance, but regained it and kept walking. "Hey, I'm talking to you!" Rock stepped in front of C.W. and pushed his shoulder. "What's the matter? You a sissy? Huh? Huh?" With each statement, Rock jabbed C.W. on the shoulder. C.W. stopped. He stared at Rock, then made a decision. He knew that if he didn't handle this now, Rock would never leave him alone. "Are you sure you want to fight me, Rock?" he said. "Yep," the bully said, sticking his jaw in C.W.'s face. C.W. sighed. "Okay." Carefully, deliberately, he laid his book bag and trumpet case on the asphalt. As he stood up, he swung his fist into Rock's stomach with everything he had. The air went out of the surprised bully, and when he lurched forward, C.W. hit him with another powerful blow to the face. When Rock hit the asphalt hard, C.W. started for Eddie as the girl screamed and everyone scattered.